Some new Resident Evil 4 Remake leaks surfaced just a couple of hours ago, and I have to admit, they're really intriguing, and they really get me hyped up for Resident Evil 4 Remake's release date and the Capcom Resident Evil Showcase next month. So let's not waste any more time, and let's just hop straight into it. So the leaker starts off by saying Krauser will not be cut from the game. Instead, he will actually be a good guy and he will aid Leon throughout the 4th and 5th chapters of the game, and he will be playable in the Resident Evil 4 Remake demo releasing this October. So that is really interesting to me, because if Krauser is a good guy or he's cut from the game, then who exactly would kidnap Ashley? Next up, the leaker states that 5 enemies would be cut from the game, these enemies being the Novistadors, the Regenerators, JJ, the El Gigantes, and the Snakes. So I actually find this one sort of believable. It's kind of a 50-50% chance of happening, because a lot of people did not like the Novistadors, and JJ was only in a small portion of the game. But the Regenerators and the El Gigante are fan favorite enemies, so I really don't know why Capcom would cut them out of the game. It would kind of take away from the authentic experience. And the snakes were really a minor part of the game, only really appearing if you slashed open certain boxes. After this, the leaker states that there will be 3 different demos of the game: a village demo, a castle demo, and an island demo. The leaker says the village demo will be releasing in October of this year, the castle demo will be releasing in December of this year, and the island demo will be releasing in February of next year. So I actually think that this is pretty awesome, especially if we're able to play as Krauser in one of these demos. That would be absolutely amazing. And it seems like they're spread apart each 2 months, because we got October, then the next one's in December, and then after that we got February. So yeah, I just thought that was an interesting thing to note, because the game is coming out in March, and then February's right before March, so that's pretty interesting. Next up, the leaker states that the castle area will look more like it did in the Resident Evil 3.5, also known as the Black Fog version. And I think this is really cool, especially if they're trying to take a scarier approach. This castle design could be sick. Next up, the leaker states that Lewis's death scene will basically be exactly how it is in the original RE4, but we find out later in the game that Lewis actually didn't die there, and he also has his own campaign that you could play in the game. So that is actually pretty interesting, because maybe Capcom is planning to use Lewis as a character in another game if they're not going to kill him off here in Resident Evil 4. Next up, the leaker states that there will be a total of 11 DLC packs in the game, 5 of which being costume packs, such as Leon, Ashley, Ada, and Luis's original costumes, Leon's gangster outfit and Ashley's night costume, and many others. But one that particularly stood out to me is one that wasn't in any of the other games, which is Ada's Plague Doctor outfit, Leon's RE6 outfit, and then Ashley would be wearing Claire's outfit from the original Resident Evil 2. And Lewis would be wearing a black bandana with a black leather jacket that has a skull on the back. So this outfit for Luis, just from thinking about it and hearing the concept, it might be inspired by one of Leon's outfits from the original Resident Evil 2. But I'm not sure though. 3 of the DLC packs being different amounts of Passatas you could buy, kinda similar to how Devil May Cry 5 lets you buy different amounts of red orbs. If these leaks are real, it'd be actually pretty dope if it let you buy the Passatas as a DLC. And 3 of these DLCs being story expansions, one where you play as Ashley before she gets kidnapped, and one where you play as Leon directly after the events of Resident Evil 2, and one where you play as Luis working as a researcher for Sadler. I actually think these would be pretty dope, because even though we have an idea of what Leon was doing directly after Resident Evil 2, it would still be awesome to actually play as him in that scenario. And Luis playing as him as Sadler's researcher, that would be pretty epic, because then we get more of an insight as to what the Los Illuminados is and their origins. And I thought that if you would play as Ashley before she gets kidnapped, then it would be in the beginning of the game. I didn't think that they'd make it a DLC. So if these are real, then that's pretty interesting. And the final leak that we were given is that the Krauser knife fight was not entirely cut from the game. Just Krauser was replaced with Luis, and it takes place after Luis would have died in the main game. He gets possessed by Sadler and then starts attacking Leon with a knife. And then it's basically the Krauser knife fight, but with slightly different dialogue. Well, there you have it, guys. That was all the leaks we got today. And tell me what you guys think about these in the comments. Would you like if they were in the game, or would you dislike it? Because I think that these are pretty dope. So yeah, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next episode of Bagels Battle.